Good morning. It is still morning. Welcome back to my scraproom. My name is Jennifer Perry. I'm just getting the screen situated. If you hear noise in the background, I have kittens. I brought in some toys to try and keep the kittens occupied this morning. We'll see how long that lasts. If you see, I'm down to just my two, so if you see kittens running across the screen, they're mine. That's my two. So, little housekeeping this morning. Okay, just make sure they're okay. Little housekeeping this morning. If you are a close to my heart customer, not a consultant any longer, just wanting to pass on some information. If you are a close to my heart customer, today is the first day of the brand new 2021 core catalog and the seasonal catalog for September, October. So I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning because you can view it online. Go to your Close to My Heart site with your consultant. You can view it online. Just go to products and then catalogs, I believe. So I was sitting there at 6 o'clock this morning with my computer and my piece of paper, pardon me, making my lists. By the time I was finished making my list, I had $400 worth of product. Thank goodness I saved my money in preparation for this catalog, because this is really my big order for the year. I order a ton of product in September because of the color changes. They always do a color change in September. And then I only order like 1 or 2 paper packs with each catalog through the year. So I make my really big bulk order on September 1st, or this time it'll be on the 3rd because of the retreat. I'm waiting for the retreat. And then the other little housekeeping thing is, if you need to buy your, and I put this in the Facebook group, so this might be duplicate information. If you need to buy your adhesive refills for, so like this is your base, this is your refill. So if you use the Tombow and you need to buy the refills, if you go to pinwood.com, they have refills depending on how many you buy. I just bought 42 of them. I put a bulk order in 42. I'm paying $1.90 a piece. So if you go to scrapbook.com or if you go to Hobby Lobby, they're $4 a piece. I just checked in the Close to My Heart catalog and they're almost $9 a piece in that catalog. So $1.90, you buy 42 of them. That lasts me almost a year, or a little over a year. I still have some left from my last order. So, and I checked my past orders, and I order about once a year. Still drinking my yogurt. I had a sandwich and a banana. I have a glass of iced tea. And I think we're ready. So, we are doing a sketch this morning. Let me show you the one that we're going to be playing with. I did a little bit of prep work because I wanted to make sure I had the cuts, and I wanted to make sure that I had the paper to do what I wanted to do. Just wait a minute. I'll get some banners off to the side. So we're going to be working on, this is a sketch from Scrapbook Generation. This one is a Debbie Sanders sketch. And this is the original sketch here. But I liked the example so much that I printed it and just stapled it on to remind myself that I want to do this one. Don't eat your brother! Dumpling has hit the pain in the butt stage, and Biscuits isn't having it today. So, if you hear it, there's actual fur flying this morning. So, what I've done is, I need, let me get set up for a moment. So what I have done is, my journaling is going to be where there is a vertical photo. That's going to be my journaling for this one. This is my right side cuts. This is my left side cuts because they were different and I did not want to get them confused. So I've got these cuts done. I've got my base pages. I've got my journaling. I'm going to work on the hearts because that's the part that I really liked about this layout. So we're going to start cutting these out. I need 15 of them. I'm going to use the vellum, maybe. I'll set the vellum aside. So, a little bit of update on, you know what? Let's do this so it's not quite so loud. So hubby has completed his book. He's completed the course that he was working on. I can't get in. I'll do it this way. He finished the course that he was working on. So now it is time to start working on my scrap room again, on my new studio. So we went this weekend and went to IKEA. We actually went to 2 different IKEAs to finish getting my furniture that I need. And then we went to Home Depot to finish getting the construction equipment that we needed. Or not equipment, but supplies. Because he's going to be rebuilding my desk. So I love my desk. And we figured out that the new desk is going to be 8 foot by 12 foot as an L shape. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's going to be an L shaped 8 foot by 12 foot, which is considerably bigger. Right now I've got an 8 foot by about 6 feet, which is still substantial. I'm not going to lie, I have a nice desk, but he wants it to be bigger, and I like that too. So I'm just punching out a whole bunch of hearts, and then I've got some banners that I'm going to stitch these hearts with. And that's actually going to take some time, so we're going to, we've got some time to hang out together. Okay, there's 6. So we went over there and got all that together. The one concession that Mike needed to make, and he did not want to make this concession, they did not have enough table legs. I would need 12 table legs to do what he wanted to do. They didn't have enough table legs. This desk here is, he made the table legs out of 4x4s. So they're nice, big, chunky table legs, and I like that because it makes my desk very sturdy. And there's big carriage bolts. I kept wanting to say cable bolts. Carriage bolts holding this desk together, and among other things. So this desk is super sturdy, and that's one of the things I love about it. We also picked up new sheet metal. So we have an entire 25 feet worth of sheet metal, and it will probably take that. Along with paint, because we've got some touch-up painting to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. I need 15. This is where I just pulled these papers out of my scraps. Kind of liking the copper accent on these, which is why I was leaning towards it. I don't know if I can get another line of, oh, just barely. I like the soft pink and the copper. think I'm cutting out a few more than I need, but that's okay. Alright, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That works. Alright. And I've got that one there. Come here, Dumpling. Here, baby. He said, ooh, paper. He likes playing with the scraps. Oh, I also need to warn you, we are going to have some pretty serious storms going on. So if I cut out on you suddenly, it means we've either lost power or lost internet. And if it's a choice of my husband staying on the internet or me staying on the internet, it's always going to be him because he makes the money. So, alrighty, so I've got these 3 banners that I've cut. I'm going to pull this one in so I can stitch it. So, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I gotta get 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, I think I have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'll give us a couple extra in case we have an oopsie. All right. And then this one I need to stitch also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hear these down, and then I'm going to make a straight stitch line, and then I'm going to stitch them. So I'm going live today because the rest of my week is going to be incredibly busy. I have retreat on Friday, so tomorrow is laundry and kind of prepping some stuff for the family so they don't die while I'm gone. They say they're not going to die, but I always worry that they're going to die, so I like to have some things prepped. And then Thursday I'm going with my mother-in-law to Costco, and then after that hopefully I can get my toes done. It's always a maybe situation depending on how many people are already at the salon. If they're empty, I'll go in. If they're not, it is not something I have to do. So if there's more than 2 people there, I don't have to go in. Because while I would like my toes done, you still kind of have to be sensible right now. But and then Friday I leave. So, and if you're noticing behind me, besides the cat that just dropped up, the ink racks are empty. So right there. The 2 in my closet are empty. That one's empty. I've set my inks up, gone ahead and packed my inks up. After my husband makes the cuts for the desk, he's going to lay everything out and use our paint sprayer to spray paint everything white. And I said, hey, while you've got all that equipment out, do you mind spraying my ink racks? Because what I think I'm going to do is that shelf right there, the one up top, the Elfa shelving, is going to be the same configuration, just in a different room. And then I'm going to have a IKEA 2x4 section here, kind of like what my paper is. So I think in between those 2 shelving units, I think I'm going to line up all 3 of my ink racks and put my inks on the racks on the wall. Because right now, ooh yes, here comes the rain. Oh, okay, let's hang on to our jelly beans. Because right now with the kittens, my inks are in the closet. Every time I open the closet door to grab any ink, they of course go, hey, closet's open, let's go explore. And ordinarily it's okay, but I like to keep that door shut because cats. Yeah, we're about to get some serious. Yeah, this is why I'm not doing laundry today, because we have solar as far as the main part of our energy. We're still hooked up to the grid, which means if we lose power, we still lose power. But we have solar. So I like to do laundry on really sunny days because then my laundry is free. And I'm not paying for the electricity. Yeah. I love days like today. I don't know if you can tell, my room's a little bit darker. It's definitely cooler. Saturday it was 108 degrees outside. And they had us waiting outside of IKEA, which wasn't bad. The line went, no, not right now. The line went fairly fast, so it wasn't that bad. But it was still 108 degrees outside. So when we decided that, okay, the Plano location didn't have everything we needed, and we forgot the tabletop for my island, we got up to the car, and I'm sitting there when they rung it up, I'm like, that's not the right price. That's way less than I was expecting to spend. You know, why did we got up to the car, we're putting everything away, and I was like, tabletop. Oh. So they didn't have two of the drawers that we needed. And you don't have to touch with your lips. It's okay. So they didn't have two of the drawers that we needed, and then when I figured out we forgot the tabletop, I was like, well, we have another IKEA in Grand Prairie. Do you want to go for a tiny road trip? And we decided, yep, we want to go for a tiny road trip, but before we do, we're getting drinks. Because we were thirsty, we were hot, I was getting blisters on my feet because I wore the wrong shoes with no socks. Bad idea. So, but we have everything. The only thing we need to actually purchase that we have not already purchased is my husband wants to build the same type of inserts that you get from Stampin' Storage, I think. I think that's where it's from. I'll have to look it up. But it's the paper slats, those really expensive $90 paper slats that fit perfectly into IKEA. Well, they put the specs on the website. So I grabbed the specs and I was like, would it take you $90 a piece to build these? And he said, no, it would not. So he's going to build those. So we have to figure out the best material for the paper slats. And go buy that, because I need, one side is going to be 8 of those full of paper slats for all of my cardstock. The other side is going to be 4 cubes full of paper slats for my pattern paper. But I use my pattern paper much faster than I use my cardstock, so I don't need as many paper slots for those. My cardstock, I'm going to have a full 8 cubes available. I don't think I have 8 cubes to fill up. I only have, well, my 80 slot racks behind me aren't full. I am about to order 8 new colors, but I noticed that I also have several that only had 1 or 2 sheets in them to begin with. I'm making sure that I'm still live on the other side because we just flickered. But I've noticed that there's a lot of paper in there that only had 1 or 2 sheets that I am working through, so those will be empty really soon. So I do not really have close to 100 different cardstock colors. Although it's really pretty, isn't it? I mean, isn't that pretty? I love that. So, And if you're new and haven't watched any of the videos, the stuff that's stacked up behind me, I am going to a retreat on Friday, so I have already packed. Because I filmed a gearbox, and I filmed how to pack for a retreat videos. So I figured while I was packing for all that, just leave it packed up. It's no big deal. But I will tell you that if you're wondering if you want to do a D-stash or something close to that, and you're wondering, what do I keep, what do I want, what do I use, act like you're going to a retreat. If it makes it into your retreat gear, it stays in your room. If it doesn't make it into your retreat gear, that needs to be what you have a conversation with and go, do I really need you? Are you really going to stay in my room, or do you need to be rehomed? I need to do you and you and you and you. There it is. So I just had to reach go get my cork and my stitching supplies and my tape. I've set these off to the side just so I don't get them in the way. Let me turn this sideways. I'm going to try and keep this in frame and still be able to see what I'm doing. I need to drink my yogurt before it goes cold or warm. I saw this sketch, and I was in the pictures that I'm working on are the the Korean War memorial. I did the World War II memorial yesterday. I just needed to just have my brain going and play. So I did that yesterday. And I'll tell you, that had me cussing because I needed to do some circles and some stars. And the sizes that I needed, I don't have in punches. So I was like, okay, well, I have a Cricut. I mean, I bought almost every Close to My Heart cartridge they have. There's only a couple that I haven't purchased. So I have almost all of them. You know when the cypress trees do this? So anyway, out of all of those cartridges, I have to have a star and I have to have a circle. So I pulled up all of that, and looky there, it's almost all lined up. So we'll start at half an inch. No, we'll start at an inch. An inch from the top, okay. And then we will stop at the 9. Okay, I'm going to just start poking these real fast, but I completely forgot what I was just talking about. Oh, so I got my Cricut out and opened it up, and there's been a software change since the last time I used it. So I had to do a complete software update. Once I did the software update, nothing looked the same as when I used it last time. And it took me probably an hour to figure out how to even find my Close to My Heart stuff that I've already purchased. And I'm texting my best friend. I'm texting Amy going, you've got to be kidding me. You know, why can't I find this? Why can't I do this? You know? So I finally got it figured out. And I thought, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to do, because I'm not the world's best at Cricut. I'm a toddler when it comes to Cricut. But I was like, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to have all my cuts on 112 by 12 mat, and I'm going to have all my paper lined up, all my different colors and stuff. I'm not going to have to change paper for each cut. You know, I'm going to measure it out, and I did, and I hit make it, and it shifted everything. And I was like, why did it shift everything? I had it all the way I wanted it. Why did it shift? So after fooling with that, trying to get it to stay the way I wanted it, yes, I tried welding, yes, I tried, you know, all the different little tricks to get it to stay put. And it would not stay put. I finally just ended up making several passes with the different pieces of paper. Oh. We were having a debate on how old Petals really is. And my mother-in-law was like, she's only 10. My husband and I were both like, no, she's older than that. She's acting older than that. So I guess my mother-in-law just checked her vet records. And she's 11. So we babysit Petals and Shoni quite a bit because they, not only do they love to travel, but we've all been going back and forth to Florida to check on the grandparents. Okay. So 9 and 1, I think. And it's close enough. So anyway, it took me 40 forevers to cut out 6 stars and 2 circles. And then of course, I had to stitch the stars. So I was like, oh, have I lost my ever-loving mind? But you know what? It kept me entertained all day. I was happy as a clam. And I was not getting in trouble as far as shopping. Because just because I haven't left the house doesn't mean I haven't been shopping. So I keep watching the weather. I'm trying to get these poked out real fast. The faster I get them poked, the faster I can get them stitched. I went through yesterday and was also, I filled up my little jar of black. I keep 2 jars up here. One's got French vanilla, one's got black. They're just the little basics of if my layout needs something. Those are probably the 2 colors that'll match anything. So if it just needs a little bit of stitching, I can just grab those. They're already prepped, they're already ready to go. And it makes it easy just to add a little bit of stitching. And these are just candle jars that my mom used to be able to pick these up at the store she worked at. And she would burn the candles and then clean them and give me the jars. So. Oh, that one's way off. Starts off in the center and just goes, meow. It is what it is. This is handmade. It's unique. I almost just made a mistake. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Okay. And you're going to see me use this template a lot. I love this template. Oh, I didn't realize you can't see what I'm doing. I am so sorry, people. Helps if I move my head out of your way, doesn't it? you're going to see me using this template a lot because I love it. It is just a simple straight stitch. It is the piercing ruler from scrapbook.com, and I did leave, I keep checking to make sure I haven't lost my feed. I did leave one for somebody else. They may have restocked, but I ordered 5 of them. I gave one to my best friend, and I put 3 away because if it can wear out, I'll wear it out. Alright, now I need to poke some holes in this big heart real fast. Oh, dumplings or biscuits upset about something. There we go. If you ever need to check your stitching, flip it over. Now this one's going to be hard to see. But flip it over and you should have a hole poked. There shouldn't be any spaces in between your holes if you're trying to do a straight line. This needle here is freakishly small, but I think we need it for these. It's not my regular needle. So we're just going to stitch for a moment, just to add something to this layout. Again, to me, stitching is just a cheap way of adding some dimension to your layout. One skein of embossing or of DMC thread is about 60 cents full price at a hobby store. And then if you wait for a sale, you get them cheaper than that, depending on how good the sale is. And then I've said before that when we get a color change, I just go to the store and make a swatch of each color. I just go to the store and just sit there and match up as close as I can get to each color. And that's how I figure out what color of DMC thread matches. I just realized I'm totally out of camera range for you guys. Matches the close to my heart threads, or the close to my heart colors. So when I get my new cardstock in, I will be doing that. And then I will also update the DMC list in the Facebook group if you are interested in stitching. Really? You brought me a bottle cap? Do you want it? Do you want me to throw it? Oh, did it land in the... Is it in my stuff? Can you get it? Time out. I think I threw it right in the middle of my supplies. Oh, you got it. Okay. Good boy. He's not allowed in my supplies and he knows it, so he's just hesitating. Go get him. Biscuits loves bottle caps. He doesn't care if you're still drinking the water. He wants the bottle cap. So that's the look that we're going for. So anyway, once the paper comes in, I'll go to the hobby store and find the new colors, and then I will update the lists in the Facebook group so that if you would like to stitch, you may. Now, I was on the Allison Davis YouTube channel. Look up Allison Davis Scrapbook Generation. I think that's how I found her. And she is working on a series of how to hand stitch on paper. And I've been hand stitching on paper hold on one moment. I've been hand stitching on paper. I don't know who this is, it'll hang up. But what I want to do is turn off, if I don't know who this is, type photo feature. I had to turn it off earlier for my mom's doctor to call. It'll quit ringing now. There's a feature in iPhone that if they're not in your contact list, it'll silence the calls where they don't ring. So you miss like 95% of the sales calls or political ads or all that stuff. Anyway, I've been stitching for probably, oh, see, this is why I've got 1,000 of them. They break so easily. And I've been watching her series, and there's some things I learned, because I've only stitched with templates. I've never tried to freehand it. Or I used rulers, templates, all that type of thing. And she's showing how to just see the design, see what you want, and just freehand it. So I tried it yesterday with the stars, and I'll be honest, it looks a bit rough, but on the other hand, it also looks handmade. So I'm watching the series myself because I love learning, and if it means I learn a new technique, I'm gonna do that. Oh, and Close to My Heart also has 2 new how-to books for scrapbooking. One is Love of Color Volume 2, and the other is Make It From My Heart, Make It From Your Heart, Volume 5. And I think Volume 5 might be backordered because I've got it in the catalog, but they don't have it on the website yet. So that may be a publishing issue. So I'll be picking up both of those too because I love my sketches. So yeah, if you're interested in stitching or learning to stitch or even new techniques and whatnot, go over and find Allison Davis and watch her series. So far so good. I haven't lost connection. I am just reopening these holes that I had to put tape over, because this needle is so tiny and so fine, it's not going to do it. Can you guys hear the rain? It has been so hot here and so dry that I will take the rain. Although, last time it rained like this, my poor front flower bed was floating. My plants were literally underwater, so this is coming down a little faster than I would like, but it's still water. Our lakes needed to be a slow rain for about a week. This is coming down so fast. I'll be surprised if the grass has changed even soak it up. now. These little hearts with the copper is a little hard to see where the stitching or where the hole is. And if you've noticed, Mike was able to change where my picture-in-picture is. He accidentally had it locked, so when I was trying to figure out how to change it myself, I couldn't find it. So I caught him the other day and was like, hey, I need you to help me with something. And then today, one of my cameras was missing. And I had it plugged in wrong again. So when we get everything moved over, because right now everything's a temporary situation. When we get everything moved over, I said we're going to have to find a different way for me to remember how to plug which camera into what auxiliary cord. Because I keep putting the webcam into the wrong plug. Oh, it's lightening up though. Okay, it doesn't look like it's 7 o'clock at night anymore. Kinda glad I'm not going to Costco today, because I would be getting wet. So anyway, this layout I was able to pull out. It was the, I think yesterday and today papers from Close to My Heart. They came out last year sometime in one of the catalogs. And anytime there's heritage paper, I snag a bunch of it. Heritage paper, vintage paper. This time there's wood. There's a whole wood paper pack of wood themed paper. So I'm getting 2 of those because I'm a sucker for a wood paper. But I also love a vintage or a nice vintage floral. Is another good one. I'm not quite a Tim Holtzy person, but I lean that direction in what I prefer. I did not distress these hearts because the paper itself is, the look of it is a bit distressed, so. And then there's going to be a little bit of tear out from just stitching, so that'll add a little bit of a distress. And these holes are small, but I want to keep them small. I don't want to open them any bigger than I need to. Oh, and the other thing we figured out is we bought a curtain rod. I was like, shower curtain? No. We bought a curtain rod at IKEA for my curtains for the new room. And we figured out I only bought 1 panel. And I don't remember where I bought the curtains from. So we did a little test run, and the one curtain will fit across the entire window. And I don't mind the look of straight. So I think what I'm going to do is take it to a seamstress and just have her cut that one curtain in half. Because I can't sew on fabric. I'm sewing on paper like nobody's business, but I cannot sew on fabric. Okay, so see here, I got a knot. See this little tail right here? Oh, I'm going to this little tail right here. You know what? Pardon me for a second. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to scoot the camera over. Because I am living in this corner over here. And I need to make it a little better for you. There we go. There. Now when I veer off to that side, you can see what I'm doing. Pardon for the unpleasant view there for a second. Okay, so see this little tail right here? I had a knot. And I didn't notice I had a knot before I stitched. So what I'm going to do to flatten that out is before I go into my next hole, I'm going to just loop it through, go into the next hole, and I'll do that a couple of times to make sure that it's completely flattened out. So I'm going to take it, go back through there, and then go through this hole. Nope, not that hole. The other hole. And a lot of times I'll do this if I get a knot. I'll just let the knot stay there. I won't cut it out unless it's a really big knot. And I'll just flatten it out as much as I can. Hi, what are you doing? Yeah? No, don't eat my straw. No. What are you doing? There's a box open. Brother's not in it. You can go get in it. Carry on. I have 2 boxes on the desk. They won't lay next to each other. Dumpling is still just a little bit too little for Biscuit's liking, so he won't lay next to him. But I will make sure there are 2 boxes always available, because, you know, cats. Children. Sorry, I'm hiding my needle as they walk by. Don't lay on that. I'm going to open these holes up a little bit. They're a little too tight for the needle to go through. And if you're in a section that you can't see where the next hole is, just run your pokey stick until you find it. It'll work. It'll work. What? Nobody's messing with you. No, they're not. No, why are you behind the paper? Can you hear him? I am watching for comments. If you are trying to comment, I can't see any comments. So if you're trying to comment and I'm not answering you, I apologize. I need to have Mike look at that and see if I've got something turned off and I can't see it on my side. Really, dude? No, you don't need to play with baby Groot. I was paying attention to the cat and I wasn't paying attention to my stuff. You don't need baby Groot. That's not for you. No, it's not. It's like having 2-year-olds. So if you are not able to join the live and you are watching the playback and you are getting tired of watching me stitch, fast forward. I'll be done with this eventually. If it didn't make such a difference on the layout, but it really does. Hey, knock it off. You know, I've been a mom for a long time, and I never thought I would utter the words, "Don't eat your brother." What? No. You're laying on my layout. Are you aware of such things? He's like, right there. You're laying on my layout. I'd appreciate not having kitty paws. Why are you crying? Why? Why are you crying? What's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you crying? Alright. You can lay down there. Can we turn you around a bit? That's a bad look. He just got offended. They don't want to see your butt. Here, come over here. Don't eat it. And Dumpling must be teething because he is biting everything. Including his brother, right? Yeah. You're normally in with Daddy. Why aren't you in with Daddy? Because Mommy's got a better window, huh? So we are still stitching. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, unless you want to sit here and watch me stitch the entire thing, which you are more than welcome to do, you can fast forward to the actual layout part of it. I'm just trying to get this stitched as fast as I can with the children in the room. I could take them out of the room, but then they stand at the door and meow, and my husband is on conference calls. With his job. And since his job is the real money, I kind of defer to that. I know what it's like when you're trying to have a business call and you've got distractions and you're trying to be professional and the phone keeps ringing and the cat walks in and your toddler wants a peanut butter sandwich. Nope. No. 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 Keep going. He wants the string. Go over here. Go over here. Come on, move along. Move along. Move along. Why don't you get in a box? Any other time I can't get you out of your box. No, Bubby. No, Bubby. Pardon me for 1 second. Don't bite me. Quit. Knock it off. Okay, let me cover the layout real fast so he doesn't, if he comes in again, he can lay down without, I've just got another piece of cork. I'm going to lay that over the top. There. Just to kind of protect the layout if he comes running through it again. Dumpling will not touch my thread. I can sit here and process thread and sew, and he likes to look at it, but he won't touch it. And it is just beyond Biscuit's control. He wants it, he wants to play with it, and you can tell in his eyes that he's about to get it. So, and not only is it a thread, but it's also a thread on a long piece of paper. So he's beside himself at the moment. And then Dumpling is down there playing with his tower toy and a couple of cat plushies, and then I always put the scrap paper on the floor, and he likes to roll around in the scrap paper, which I probably shouldn't start because paper's paper. They don't know which paper they're allowed to use and what they're not. But I'll figure it out later. Right now it's keeping him entertained. Alright, 1 down, 2 to go. And I always try to put my needles back in the tomato in transition, just because they're protected. I am in my room a lot barefoot, and then cats, animals, dog, cat, kid, so I try to make sure my needles are safely stowed away. I think, actually, let's take that on there so I can see where my needle is. I think I'm going to switch over to my big needle. Part of my problem is I didn't have enough to hold on to. So let me open these up a little bit. Give me some more stitching room. And with a larger needle, let's see if I can stitch a little faster. At some point, kittens are going to take a nap. I am so excited for Friday. I am ready for some girl time. I am ready for some scrappy time. Being in a room with some like-minded ladies. I don't think the crop has filled up, so I think there's going to be even more room in between tables than originally thought, which right now is okay, I think I'm going to be okay with that. Okay, this one I did right there. I'm just ready to have some girl time. He is so playful. I don't know if I've ever, even Biscuits, I don't know if I've ever had a cat this playful. Well, the trees have stopped bending over in the wind. Okay, those are open. Okay. Is it going night-night? Is it night-night? Okay. You're gonna, no, 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 no. We're not doing like brother does. Dork. You are, you're a dork. He's crawling under a shelf. What are you doing? Is it kitten nap time? Going back in the same hole. There we go. What are you doing? Well, see, he's just sitting here. He's not trying to attack the thread. He's looking at it. Yeah, I'm getting the same result, so I should have just used the more comfortable needle. You gonna go tonight? You can go tonight. Yep, that one's not going to come out. Night night, sweet boy. Night night. And that's how you fix a knot. I just cut it out, back the thread out a little bit, reattached it, and away we go. No big deal. Ouch. Just broke myself. %of this live is going to be me stitching. How much you want to bet? So, if you're trying to figure out how to stitch, might be a good one to watch. I am going to try and remember Friday morning, Saturday morning to get into the Scraproom early before the other ladies get there, because I would really like to film my setup. I've been trying to do it the last couple of retreats and I kept forgetting to do it. So I would really like to film it, to get it edited and get it out so that you guys can see. You know, I've done several videos how to pack. But I also find it very interesting very interesting how do people set up, because everybody sets up differently. And that's also one of the things I love to do, is walk around, and which I may not be able to do this time because people may not want me in their personal space within 6 feet. But I like to see how other people set their stuff up, because you might learn something new. I didn't know about the wagons until I went to it wasn't Janine's first retreat. Maybe it was her first retreat. We went to the Embassy Suites. They had just opened an Embassy Suites where she lives. We were going to be the first event. And I had no idea about wagons. I just schlepped everything in. Used a luggage cart, schlepped everything in by hand. And all these women had wagons. And I was like, oh, that is the smartest thing. In fact, two of the consultants that I was with, because at this time I was still a consultant, two of the consultants I was with, they actually left the retreat, went to Costco and bought some wagons. And I was like, nah, I can wait till I get home. I'm not going to waste crop time to go get a wagon. And I actually just showed it to my husband. And we ordered one when I got home from Amazon. It was the same price. So I actually have one that I use for just retreats. And, you know, lugging my scrapbook stuff around. And then I have another one, because they fold up to like next to nothing. I have another one that I leave in the garage for working in the yard. And, you know, if I get a lot of stuff from Kroger or whatnot, or Costco, bringing groceries in. Because with the cerebral palsy, if I can roll it or if I can drag it behind me, it's easier than trying to carry it. So I do a lot of stuff, especially front yard to backyard, schlepping supplies, you know, gardening supplies and stuff. Me and my wagon, man, we get it done. So, and then that was also the year that I came home with the flu. So, I actually, we had packed up that year, and I didn't get much scrapbooking done at all because I just wasn't feeling well. And we packed up. So I have a trash can just outside the scrap room that's, the one behind me is just paper. The other one's anything. But we packed up, got everything loaded, and I rode with a friend of mine. I met her at her house. She loaded everything up in her car, or in my car, and then we drove together from her house. So I got her back to her house, and we were so close to the hospital right there. I almost had her take me to the hospital. I felt that bad. And I wasn't breathing well. I thought I was having an asthma attack. And so got her dropped off, and she forced me to call her when I got home. And I called Mike from the car and went, I'm not even coming in the house. I need you to just meet me in the garage. I need to go to the hospital. I need, you know, this was a Sunday. I didn't even think I could make it till Monday to get to my doctor. So he met me in the garage because my mom was scheduled to have surgery the next week. And I didn't know what the heck got a hold of me, and I wasn't going to go in the house and possibly expose her to something. So he got in the car, we went to the emergency room, and I thought, I'm having an asthma attack. That's all it is. You know, it felt the same, but I felt horrible, you know. So, knocked me over with a feather when the flu test came back positive. I had the flu, I had bronchitis, and I was having an asthma attack. No wonder I didn't feel good. So, we got home, we immediately quarantined me into my room so that I wouldn't expose my mom. And I did not come out of my room for 7 or 8 days. I missed a week of work. I called work because I worked in the restaurant at the time, and I was like, there's no way I'm coming in. You know, this is what's going on. I called them from the emergency room. And they were like, no problem, you know. It's more than I just don't feel good. It's more than I just played all weekend. This is what's going on. And so we quarantined me into my room. And as a mom, you're just like, I'd love to spend just a week in my room. I don't want anybody to talk to me. I don't want to be not that you don't want to be a mom, but you don't want to hear the word mom. You know, there comes certain times when you're a mom, you're just like, if I hear mom one more time, I'm going to lose my stuff. And so I was sequestered from my room for a week, and I'm like, I'm bored. Now, I did sleep. The medicine they gave me made me sick, so, there was that going on. I did sleep a lot, but you also get bored. So, I did have, I've got an ensuite bathroom, so obviously I had access to my own bathroom, had access to what I needed. My husband rolled in my office chair so that I could sit in my office chair at least and have a different space to sit than just the bed. Because we've talked about putting a couch in our room. We just haven't ever done it. So I had my iPad, I had the office chair, and that was it. Because we don't have TV. We haven't had TV since 2013, 2014. So, came home with the flu. Had to call Janine, let her know, because her daughter had just had a baby that was preemie. So I had just exposed Janine to the flu, and I was like, oh no. So, let's scoot all this over, get it out of the way. But it has not stopped me from ever going back to one of her crops. I love going to her retreats and crops. She does day retreats, and she does crops retreats 3 times a year, and crops every other month or so, when there's not crap going on in the world and you're not allowed to be around each other. But I will almost always go to them. Last one, and then we can start assembly. And the assembly is going to be fast, because I've got everything cut already. It's just plunking it down. But anyway, what got me started on that tangent was, I learned about the wagons from retreats. And I always learn something new about a setup by watching somebody else set up. So I want to film my setup, because what I do may help somebody else, or what you do may help me. Or, like another one of the retreats, I learned about the pop-up trash can. I had no idea. But it's a lot better than trying to use a little brown paper bag that you're not used to aiming for something, for a little brown paper bag, or one of the thingamabobs that hang off your table that I always bump into. I end up taking the trash can off it. So, I love my little pop-up trash can. Love it so much that I found something similar, the Fiskars, and I bought 2 of those and just put them away, so that when my Totally Tiffany one falls apart, I have spares. But I learn something new every time I go. Alright, one more, and then this is going to have to be changed. There we go. Okay, now I've got to change thread. Last thread change. Find the end, cut it off. Oopsie. go. Oh, not that one. Where are you at? Right there. Here we go. Now it's getting a rhythm. Sometimes it takes a few stitches with the new thread. Oopsie. So this is where I wish we could have some background music without getting a copyright strike. Then again, that means I would probably forget and start singing, and all of you guys would figure out that I can't sing, and I would lose every subscriber I had. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that I can't have background music. I used to could sing, but I can't sing no more. I just want to see. 72 degrees. It was 108 degrees on Saturday. And now with the rain, it's 72. And it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. September 1st. Pardon me for one moment. I'm going to go wash my hands. I had a surprise sneeze. Okay, thank you for understanding that I needed to wash my hands. Yeah, I realized it was going to be a little bit cooler today when I have a ceiling fan in my bathroom. And it's high enough up. I am 5'1", almost 5'2". And the ceiling fan's high enough up that I can't reach the chain. So I cannot adjust that fan by myself at all. So it was cool enough today that it was the first time all summer that I got out of the shower and could feel the fan blowing. It's been so hot that even with the fan blowing, you could not even feel it. And it's been that way all over the house. I have ceiling fans in every room. And unless they're up on high, like really high, it's been so hot you can't even feel them. You're just a tiny little knot. Why are you? Fine, I'm not going to argue. Fine. Be that way. Be that way. Another one. Oopsie. And there's where the knot started. Okay. It really is worth it. I know right now it seems tedious, and you're wondering to yourself, there's no way I would ever do this. But it is really worth it. What it adds to the layout. I mean, I know there's faux stitching, but that just, to me, it doesn't do it, you know. I like the look of hand stitching, and if it takes me time to do it, then that's just extra love that I put into the, you know, into the layout. And this, I mean, this is just as enjoyable to me as the rest of the layout. It's a tiny bit tedious, especially if your thread decides it wants to knot up on you constantly. But totally worth it. Oh, it's still thundering. It is the kind of weather that after this live, I may take a nap. It is just that kind of weather. You just kind of want to lay down in a comfy spot, and I'm not going to worry about that one. I'm going to just pull it through. Lay down in a comfy spot and enjoy the rain, listening to it pitter pat. Mom used to have a metal roof, a tin roof, and there was nothing better than going upstairs on a rainy day and just listening to the rain. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see. Pardon. Forget the camera has a range. Although doing the lives is easier for me than doing the regular YouTube videos that you have to edit, because I can actually see on my laptop what you're seeing. So if I get out of frame, it's not for as long as if it is when I'm doing a regular YouTube video, because I can see that I'm out of frame. To where before, I mean, there's sections I've had to refilm, there's sections where I'm, you know, you have to edit out and go, oopsie, sorry, you know, just because you forget that you have to stay within frame of the camera. And as you can tell, I tend to work catty corner towards the right of my screens. So my camera is right there. So we're actually almost done, guys. Now what I did with the journaling on this one, I looked up the Korean memorial and just journaled some facts, because it's not one that I even knew existed. I know about the Vietnam memorial, but I didn't know about this one. So I didn't know anything about it. And I just looked up some Wikipedia facts and just typed them out and put them on vellum, printed it out, and that's my journaling. Because it was such a serene and peaceful place that, you know, you don't want to journal, we had a great time, or, you know, magical place, because that's not it. That's not the feeling. And that way with a lot of the places that we went to in Washington, D.C. It just, you know, when you go to, you know, Ford Theater, okay, that's where Lincoln was shot. Which I got some freaky photos from there. I got some stuff in my photos that kind of made me go, which I don't know if I have. I think I did. I think I printed those. I have to look and see, did I print just from my sister's camera, or did I print my own too? Because I got some pretty freaky photos. But anyway, a lot of the places we went, Ford Theater, that's where Lincoln was shot. All the, you know, the Vietnam Memorial, the Korean Memorial, the Martin Luther King Memorial, the Holocaust Museum, and then there was the Museum of Natural History and the Aerospace Museum. Those are the ones that you can go, hey, we had a great time, and we saw this, and we did that. But the memorials and the other museums, you kind of don't want to have that feel, because that's not what you felt. So, everything taped? Yep, okay. Alright, I'm going to put this corkboard away. I'm going to clear my desk a little bit. I want to put tape down on these real fast. I'll make it stick in just a second. I'm just trying to get it measured out. This is the best tape I've ever used. It is score tape. I get it on Amazon. I've actually got it on my subscribe and save. So it just, you know, roll up, it shows up every 2 or 3 months or so. And I just keep it in a flower vase, just different sizes. Keep it on my desk, pop my scissors in there, tips down, so my cats don't get into it. So those are down. Alright. And which one says middle? I think this one's the middle. So I already have my label on the back. Remember, I do the just Avery labels on each of my layouts, so that if I had to set them aside and let them dry, I know where they go after the fact. And then this is supposed to be, it doesn't say how far up, 1 inch from the bottom. Okay. I know the width of this ruler is 1 inch. So 1 inch from the bottom. Oops. And then I'm going to take and line these up. And this is why I've got the sheet metal. Because I can just lay a magnet down and it holds my layout exactly where I need it to be. Is that crooked or is it just me? Nope, just me. Optical illusion. No, optical illusion. Okay. Okay. These little stripes are just 1/4 of an inch. And this piece is 8 inches by 12 inches. And the other piece is 8 inches by 9 inches. One that I'm going to put on in just a moment. Now this memorial is literally next door to the Vietnam Memorial. In fact, I thought they were the same. I thought this was part of Vietnam until I rounded the corner. And right here, they had a thing, a plaque or something in the, I think it was actually in the sidewalk, explaining that this was the Korean War. And I was like, oh, okay. So all of my photos are on this side, and then on this side. I think one of the, no, because that's the split. Yeah. And this is where I need to measure. Did I get it right? Yes, I did. Okay. So put these on first. I doubted myself for a second. I was like, did I put that on right? No? Okay. I thought the paper was upside down. It'd be too late now if it was, but it's not. It's just the way the writing is. Part of it's upside down, part of it's sideways. Okay, so what I need to do is you are there, you are there, you are there, and then you are, I can scoot you out some. Okay, doesn't have to be quite so sharp, so close. You're there, and then you are there. And then I gotta figure out embellishments around it because I don't have embellishments other than this. So we're gonna put this down first so that I know where the rest of this stuff goes. I'm running really low on embellishments. So I've either been making mine or waiting to see if I can find something to go on the layouts. You kind of keep a little inventory at the back of your head of what layouts you need what embellishments for. I'm going to do a quick look in my bag and see if I've got any. But I don't think I have any that are appropriate to this subject matter. And I just used a little staple to hold the vellum on. And now I'm going to use this to cover the staple. Like that. Got room for a title, so I need to figure out that really quickly. Well, I think I know one. I think I know what I'm going to use. Okay. I've got a few extra little hearts that I cut out. So, let's move that over. Let's move that there. Put this down. And let me get my thickers really quickly. And see if I can get a title. And then I think I need to pull out my bag and see if I do have some some embellishments might work with this. So pardon me for one moment. Ooh. Got these too. Okay. Those will work. Got those. I got this. Forgot I had my bag of flowers. Okay. I have some. Ooh, that might work. No, because these are copper. I have some Washington, D.C. stuff. I figure out where I put it. Well, at some point I need to do my Disney layouts because my Hogwarts and my Hogwarts and Star Wars is taking over my embellishments bag. Story. Ooh, be fearless. That would work. Figure out where that goes. I kind of just shoved a whole bunch of embellishments into a zippy bag. And now I need to find them. Wondering where my DC stuff went. I don't know. Okay. But it's not this bag because that wasn't packed up. It's gotta be this one. And it's small, which is why I'm having trouble finding it. No, okay, well, knowing me, I probably used it and forgot. Okay. That paper is wrong. That's not gonna be good. The paper, the background paper on that one sucks. For this layout, not in general, but for this layout. Alrighty, got these. So I think what I'm going to do is separate this a little bit so I can see where the separation is. Now this font is the Eclair font, and it is partially uppercase, partially lowercase. There's no rhyme or reason as to what letter is upper or lower. And there's no, there's not a capital R and a lowercase r. It's just whichever one they decided. So, we're just going to go with it and see what we get. This would probably be easier. R-E-M, Bremen. If I would use my tweezers. And that's not. Yeah, right there. This is why I'm very glad that I buy 2 sets when I find them, because that swirly M was not appropriate for this in the middle of the word like that on this one. I am all about remembering the soldiers. We have veterans in my family. Thank you so much for your service. You know what you mean to me. I was not able to serve for cerebral palsy reasons, but it is something that I definitely looked into when I was a child or a teenager. So I will always be thankful to the members of the service, because without them we would not have the world we have and the freedoms that we have. Okay. There we go. That's where it belongs. Look, you know, you just move an embellishment around a little bit till you find it. That's where it goes. I don't want to cover that up. I don't think we need any more of the paper hearts. I am getting a lot of robo messages today. I think I'm going to take my bitty sparkles, put some bitty sparkles around, and call this one complete. Now I put my bitty sparkles on with a craft knife. If you choose to do this, please be careful. This is a X-Acto knife. It will cut you. I have been cut with my X-Acto knife. But for me, this has been the best way that I can put down sparkles. I don't know. It works for me. But if you choose to, please be careful and try not to slice your finger. There is a reason I have a big thing of Band-Aids in my craft room, and this would be one of them. Anchor him. He's just kind of floating there by himself. Let's give him an anchor. There we go. Alrighty, so put the bitty sparkles away because these are precious. Alright, so this is the sketch that I went off of. Again, it is a Debbie Sanders sketch from Scraproom Generation. There's the sketch that I went off of. And here is the completed layout. So don't mind the glare, sorry about that. My arrow's a little bent, I need to go back in and fix that guy. Not quite as embellished as their version, but I'm okay with that. And there you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you have 101 different things that you could be doing, and you have choices as to what videos you are watching, and I am very, very thankful that you choose to spend just a few minutes of your day or 2 hours of your day with me. Until next time, thank you very much. Bye-bye.